Hi CGA 118 students, this is Professor Mary, and I'm coming to you talking to you about InClass 7, which is another scripting. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you do the first couple scenes, then I'm going to let you do the rest of them. Alright, so in this file you'll notice that we have a menu and there's a bunch of buttons that are going to go to specific sports, and each sport has its own scene, and then it's got on each scene it's got a button that goes back to the main menu. So I'm going to show you how to do the first two, and then hopefully you'll be able to do the rest from that. So I'm going to click on the archery button. I'm going to go over to properties, and I'm going to give my button name. So I'm going to call it archery menu button. Alright, and remember, buttons all need to have unique button names. Okay. Now I'm going to click on that button, and I'm going to go to Window, Code Snippets. I'm going to go to Action Scripts, Timeline Navigation, and I'm going to tell it to click and go to a scene. Now remember, when you do this, it automatically always puts it in as scene number 3. Well, we do not have a scene number 3 in here. We have an archery scene. So I'm going to take out scene number 3 and I'm going to put in archery. Now remember two things. First of all, you have to make sure it's spelled correctly, and second of all, the archery needs to be in the quotes. Alright, so let's go ahead and see if this is going to work. Alright, so I'm going to save this. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to save as Melanconico, CGA 118, InClass 7, oops, 7, and I'm going to put it up on my desktop. Alright, so now I'm going to go and try to play this and see if this button works. I'm going to go to Control, Test, and see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to click on the archery button. Oh, what happened? Why is it? Oh, I know, I forgot something. Alright, so what did I forget to do on my timelines? Well, I forgot to put its stops in. So I'm going to go to Window, Code Snippets, Action Scripts, Timeline Navigation, stop at this frame. Alright, so now it's going to stop at frame 72 on this layer, or on this scene. And I need to do the same thing with each of the scenes. So I'm going to go stop at this frame, alright, and then I'm going to come here, do baseball, stop at this frame, go to basketball, stop at this frame, and of course I'll do that for all the rest of the scenes. Alright, so let's now test it so I can see if this works. Control, Test. Alright, so when I point at archery, you notice that I have got the nice little rollover effect. It pops to a different color, and it also gives me that nice arrow tool. So I click and it goes to archery. But now I haven't programmed the return to menu button. So I'm going to go back to my menu. Oops, I'm going to go back to my archery scene, click on my button, and I'm going to make sure I go to properties, and I'm going to call it archery return to menu. Remember, all your buttons need to have a unique name. Now I'm going to go to Window, Code Snippets, Action Scripts, Timeline Navigation, go to Scene and Play, and now remember, it always puts in Scene 3, and I want to make sure I put in the right scene, which is called Menu. Alright, and when I named the menu, I didn't use uppercase, so it's just going to be Menu. So I'm going to save that, close this up, back to my menu and see if it all works. Control, Test. click on archery. Now I'm going to click on return to menu. Gets me back to the menu. Now, when I hit the return to menu button, notice it's playing through to frame number 1. Now in the menu scene, it starts at frame 1 and goes out to frame 72. So what happens, I don't want it to play the animation again. I just want it to go to frame 72. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my window menu and pull down to actions. And on the archery scene, you notice here it's saying it's going to click and it's going to go to and play 1 in the menu scene. Now the 1 is actually the frame number. So if I want to go not to frame number 1 to play the animation of the buttons, I want to go to 72, I would type in 72 there. Now please note that there is no quotes around 72, it just says 72. Alright, so now if I go back to menu and I test the movie, so I can click on archery, takes me to the archery scene. Now if I click back to return to menu, it should take me just to the buttons, no animation, and that worked. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do the next one. So I'm going to click on the baseball button, and I'm going to come up and give it a name, baseball menu button. I'm going to go to code snippets, action scripts, timeline navigation, go to scene and play. I'm going to take out scene number 3. I'm going to put in baseball. And I'm just going to double check to make sure that's spelled right. Baseball, baseball, that's good. Alright. Close that up. Alright, now I'm going to go to the baseball scene. Click on return to menu. I'm going to call this baseball. Return to menu. Button. Alright, give it a good unique name. I'm going to go to and play the scene. I want it to go to the menu scene. So I'm going to type in menu, and again I'm going to want it to go to 72, so I'm going to type in 72, close that up, close this up, and now I'm going to see if that works. So control, test. Alright, so archery works, now baseball, and baseball works. Alright, do you think you could do basketball, cycling, and all the rest? If you think you can, go ahead and stop this video. If not, I'm going to continue on and go off to the rest of the scenes and program them. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to each of the scenes, and I'm going to make sure there's a stop at each of the scenes. So I'm going to open up my actions, and in basketball there's a stop. Alright. So I'm going to go to cycling, code snippets, action scripts, timeline navigation, stop at this frame. I'm going to go to golf, stop at this frame, then I'm going to go to rope, which is jump rope, stop at this frame, skateboarding, stop at this frame, soccer, stop at this frame, tennis, stop at this frame, and volleyball, stop at this frame. Now, the one thing I want to point out about the actions panel is that you'll notice that it gives us on the left-hand side like an outline of what is being added. So we can see this as each one now has a frame script in frame number 1 of each of the scenes. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to the menu and I'm going to program basketball. So I'm going to click on the button, I'm going to give it a name, basketball button. Then I'm going to say go to and play a scene, and I want it to go to the basketball scene. I'm just going to double check that I spelled that right. So I did. Alrighty, close that up. I'm going to click on the cycling, give this cycling button, PTN. I'm going to click go to scene and play. I'll put in cycling. just going to confirm that I spelled it right. All right. I'm going to click golf. I'm going to do golf button. Golf button. Alright, and then I'm going to program the golf button. And again, I'm going to have this go to the golf scene, which that is correct. Alright, I'm going to click on this one. I'll give it a good name. Jumping rope, BTN. Go to and play the scene. And if I remember right, I just named it rope. Correct. All right. Then I'm going to click on the skateboard one. Oops, I got to name it. Skateboard button. Go to and play the scene. And I think I named this scene skate. Oh, nope, skateboarding. Skate. Oops, I'll type down here. Skateboarding, and I'm going to confirm that it's spelled correctly. Alright, now I'm actually going to stop for a second. I'm going to save this file. I'm going to test to see if it works. Now what I would recommend that you do is not do what I just did where I just added a bunch of scripts. I would test each script, so hopefully I'm not going to get any error messages. Alright, so I click on baseball, okay, basketball. Now I've not programmed that button, but alright, so it looks like it's going to work. Alright, so I'm going to continue on with, I believe I was at soccer. I'm going to name this button soccer, BTN, code snippets, go to scene and play, and this one is going to be called soccer. All right. I'm going to click on tennis, give it a unique name. Go to and play a scene. I type in tennis here. Make sure that's the name. That matches. And then last but certainly not least, I'm going to type in volleyball. Button. And then I'm going to program the volleyball button to go to the volleyball scene. So instead of scene number 3, I'm going to type in volleyball. And you'll note that I keep just double checking to make sure I'm spelling the scene names right just by going into the scene clapper up here and doing that. Alright, so now I'm going to save this, Control S, and then I'm going to test the movie. Alright, now what I'm going to have to do is go and program each one of these buttons to come back. So I'm going to go to basketball because I don't think I did basketball yet. So, alright, so here's the key for doing this, for the return buttons. You're going to have to give it a unique name, so I'm going to call this one basketball return to menu. And then I'll program this one. And again, the programming is going to be code snippets, action scripts, timeline navigation, go to play a scene, and I want it to go to the menu. And when I also wanted to go, I want it to go to frame number 72, just not frame number 1. I'm going to go to 72. Alright, so let's go ahead and test basketball. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to test the movie. So when I go to basketball and click, it goes back, baseball, back, archery, back. Alright, so do you think you can do the return to menu for the rest of the scenes? If you can, go ahead and stop me and you can continue on. If not, I'm just going to continue on. So now I'm going to go to cycling. I'm going to click on this button, give it a name, cycling, return to menu button, code snippets, action scripts, timeline control, go to scene and play, and I'm going to do menu. Oops, gotta spell it right. 72. Alright, just to make sure. Okay, that's good. Alright, close that up. Alright, now I'm going to go to golf. Click on the button. Call it golf. Return to menu. BTN. Going to double click on go to scene and play. It's going to scene menu. And I want it to go to frame number 72 when it gets there. Alright, go to rope, jumping rope. I call it rope, return to menu, BTN, go to scene and play, take out scene 3, put in menu, want to go to 72, type in 72. Alright, now I'm going to go to skateboarding, click on skateboarding, type in the name, skateboarding, return to menu, BTN, come over, change this to menu, change the number to 72 because I don't want to play that animation. Alright. Now I'm going to go to soccer, click on the soccer button, name it soccer, return to menu, BTN, code snippets, play the scene, want to go to the menu, and I want it to go to frame 72. Close that up. Tennis, click on tennis. Give it a name, tennis, return to menu, code snippets, click and go to a scene, menu, want to go to 72, alright. And then last but not least, the volleyball, click on this, type in volleyball, return to menu, click and go to a scene, want to go to a menu scene, and I want it to go to 72. Now I know you're all saying, but Mary, come on, there's got to be a way to shortcut this. When you're coding, there actually is not a shortcut. So you're going to have to go in and do each button like this. Alright, so if we go to menu, and we say control and we test the movie. So I'll start at the end. I'll start from volleyball. So I'll click on volleyball, go to the volleyball scene, click on return to menu, click on tennis, return to menu, soccer, return to menu, skateboard, return to menu, jump roping, or rope jumping, whatever, return to menu, golf, return to menu, cycling. Yay, it's all working. Alright. Now, I'm going to tell you what I just did is probably not the normal practices, where I went in and did all the scripts for all the scenes. What I recommend is you do one scene, the archery scene, and make sure it works, and then save your file. Do the baseball scene, save it, make sure it works. Do the basketball scene, make sure it works. So that's the end of this video walkthrough. If you have any questions, we will be doing this in the Zoom meeting. So when you have questions, we can do that. If you have any questions, you can email me, let me know. If not, you can submit this in Class 7 for grading. This is Professor Mary signing off.